Hi, I'm so glad you're here today. I'd like to share a story with you. It's a story of a woman. I write about her in my book, and I call her the Bleeding Woman. And she's a woman who has been bleeding for 12 long years. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine that. Well, maybe you're saying to yourself, yeah, but what's that got to do with me today, 2,000 years later? I think it's got a lot to do with us women today because maybe some of us haven't been bleeding physically for 12 long years, but maybe some of us have been brokenhearted for 12 long years. Maybe some of us have felt unloved for 12 long years, and maybe some of us have had broken relationships over and over for 12 long years. Well, this is a bleeding woman, right? But the good news is that you don't have to stay that way. None of us do, because there's somebody who is passionate for us, somebody who is compassionate for us. And all we have to do is say yes. Just like the bleeding woman, she heard that Jesus was going to be in a town, and she went to the town. She snuck in really into the crowd of people. Because she was a bleeding woman, she had the stigma of being unclean. So that means that anybody that touched her was considered unclean. So really, she was an outcast. I write a lot about being ostracized and outcast and alone in my book. And this is another example. This woman is another example. But oh, what beautiful Jesus does for this woman. So back to the story. She says to herself, if I can just touch the corner of his robe, the tassel on his robe, I'll be healed. And so she snuck in, and that's exactly what she did. She touched the tassel in his robe, and immediately she was healed of bleeding for 12 long years. That's a miracle. That's a beautiful hallelujah miracle. And all she did was say yes. If I could just touch his robe, that's saying yes to Jesus. And he had such compassion for her. Instantly, the Father in heaven heals her because he loves her. He loves her with a passion. And he was just waiting for her to say yes, just like he's waiting for each one of us to say yes. He's a gentleman. He's not going to make us do anything. That's why we have free will to do whatever we want. But he's hoping we'll say, if I could just touch his tassel, I'll be healed. If I can just say yes, I'll be in relationship, and I'll have the love of a loving Father in my life. And that's what happened to this woman. Jesus called her daughter. Oh, that's what we could just hope for, is to be called God's daughter. Ah, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful story. I hope that you will hear in my voice the excitement that God has for you, the passion he has for you, and the compassion that he is ready to pour out all over you just by the asking. And it's easy just to say, God, I love you and I want you in my life. It's easy to say that. So I'll encourage you today to do that. And watch what happens. Watch your heart just burst open with love. Okay. Okay, that's it for today. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.